Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe. Now, you know something.
What?
We are testing all of these things, and you just blew my ears away because you didn't lower it. So now I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Welcome to all our friends in South Florida, LA, San Francisco, New York. We have a guest from California.
York. And California. We got New York and California in the house.
Who's from New York?
Christina.
Christina, you're from New York?
Yes.
What part of New York?
Long Island. She's my friend since we were 3.
Since you were 3?
Yeah.
So she's been your friend like 4 or 5 years? Just saying.
We got New York and California in the house.
We got coast to coast, baby. We
by coastal.
We going big.
How about that?
Ain't nobody but 3 people listening, but we're going big.
Troy's listening. Hey, Troy, how you doing? We got South Carolina in the house.
Hey, Troy, we're going to get that coffee out to you, and yada, yada, yada. We'll take care of that. Gio, my son, wants his coffee as well. Maverick, we got to send Gio the pie back. He's exchanging something for us to just remind me because I got to get that out this week. But anyway. Happy
Monday.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, yes.
To all of you who have served our country, we thank you, thank you, thank you. My brother was a vet, you know. Harry, may you rest in peace. He was a vet, and Joe was a vet. A lot of vets out there.
Was your dad?
My dad served in the National Guard. Do you know? There's a funny story about that.
But your dad?
Mm-hmm. My dad was supposed to come over to the U.S. to get trained, and my mother was pregnant with Harry, and it was a bad pregnancy. And somehow they got a letter to get him off the plane that was coming here, and that plane crashed, and everybody perished. And my father was the only one that was off that plane that day.
Wow.
And it's a really wicked story that goes with that whole thing. But,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really funny how some things you sort of forget in life and some things just come back to you. But anyway, thank you and happy Veterans Day. Enjoy your day off if you are having one. And thank you for your service.
We've got some teachers in the house.
We got a lot of teachers. What we need is pupils.
I hope you brought some bags with you.
I did.
Oh, good. Because I'm looking at you looking very beautiful and I'm thinking, where are all your bags?
Oh, they're in there.
What is she, the
Uncle's
bag
an
lady?
artist, yes.
You're the bag lady?
She's the lady that painted that amazing purse that I have.
Oh, you're the purse lady. I want to know if you have any men wallets that you do.
I do actually.
I thought so. Okay. We chit chat.
All right, the door slide. That's Anka.
Take your time. Okay, so
It's like
on
an
the
artist
set,
Monday.
today we have Monsieur Ned.
We've got Ned with us.
And a special guest with you, Ned. A special. This
Ned,
is a
do you know
very.
who that is?
No.
You have any idea?
No.
Look at her and tell me. And then look over here.
And then
Look
over
over there, and look over here. And look over there, and look over
You're
here.
her daughter?
Yes.
Boy,
Okay, now
He's
I
quick,
know
huh?
you. I know a lot about you. And that's not all true, but I know. My mother told me.
It's all good though, don't you worry. We've got brunch with our artists with Ned Moulton, and since it's Veterans Day and some of our teachers are off, we've got 2 teachers in the house with
Got two.
us. My daughter is an art teacher, Christina. I can't wait to hear what you do. She teaches special ed, adaptive special ed with PE.
what's adaptive?
That's what I can't
We
wait to
have to
find
find
out.
out.
So we're going to find out about that also.
But let's do some art first because I'm a little bit curious. Because I know that your daughter has an artistic mind. You don't have to be nervous. It's okay. Take it easy. Breathe. Because if you like hyperventilate and you faint, we're gonna have a problem.
Okay.
So just take it easy. You okay? She's having a ball over there. So Ned is gonna talk to us about art and about this piece. And then Ned, remember we talked about promoting art in the business community.
Right.
We talked about this last week. The importance of what we spoke about was it so motivated us that we actually ordered and got the 100 hearts that came in. And we are building the website so you can register these hearts. So more on that will be later, but I just want you to know that what you said actually had an impact
And
on
that's the
us.
first time that ever happened.
Well, it's the first time for everything now. All right, so do we
Ned
want
has
to
a new
talk?
painting behind him,
talk
and he
about
wanted
it?
to talk about what happened in the painting.
What happened in that painting?
What happened was I finished that painting 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I decided a week later, I said, okay, maybe I need to put resin over it, make it shiny. So I took it to my studio and I laid it out and I put the resin on, and it dries overnight. So I had to put it down on the floor, and I put it in the floor, and I didn't think about some boxes that were there, and a cardboard box fell on it and glued itself to it. Now, you see, I don't know if you can see all the texture.
Oh, the
in there.
texture.
Okay, there's a lot of texture.
You created cardboard painting.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. I came in the studio and I looked, oh my gosh. So I said, okay, I'm gonna see if I can somehow do something with it. I don't like to work with texture. I like to just smear paints of various colored paints together and see how they blend. So I said, okay, let me see what I can do. I tore the cardboard off, and the texture is the inside of the cardboard box. So then I started to do an abstract totally differently than I do it all.
But
I usually put
is that what that stuff is that's protruding? It's the
yeah,
cardboard?
That's the
I think that's amazing.
Chanel, can you
well-
give a wider shot, please, so we can see?
We'll
whole
try to
picture?
shot on the piece. Do
So
you,
all of that is from the cardboard box falling on it.
Yeah, all the texture is the inside of the box. And it was just a challenge for me. I said, okay, I don't like to work that way, but maybe I'll learn something from doing it.
I kind of like it.
I like
And
it a lot.
I like it better than I would have,
Chelsea,
thought I
like
was
it?
gonna.
I do.
What do you think?
Say Spurgeon.
That was all a
Say
mistake?
Say wonderful people.
No.
It's a wonderful mistake. Yes, it
No,
was a
but it's
mistake.
good. I'm an art teacher. I tell my kids all the time there are no mistakes in art,
No.
so that you have to keep trying because you never know what you're going to
That's
create.
exactly right.
No.
I could have just thrown it away because I had a big cardboard box sitting, the whole box, it was sitting on a box glued to your painting. And I said,
How'd you
okay.
get it off?
I didn't. I just ripped
just
it off.
painted on
I
it?
ripped off everything I could, and what was left, I said, okay, I'll paint over, and I painted it over. I put a coat of white gesso on it, and then I came back with the color, all the colors that you see, the positive areas. I painted that in, and then I painted a little white around the outside so it wouldn't look just like a big blob of color. And it doesn't have as much. It's not as. I would say I didn't make much of a composition of it. I just decided, okay, I'll see what the paint looks like with all these, and I'll highlight all the cardboard.
That's
So
great.
I used I painted that with a sponge. First I put all the paint on with it and got it all covered. Then I came back when that was dry and just sort of just put a little bit of highlights on the things that stuck up, so it would emphasize the texture, since that's what it was at that
It's almost
point.
got a stained glass kind of look. It makes me think of what you're doing this week with your kids.
That was a good transition there, Mom.
Do you like that?
What
But
do
it's
you
true.
do with the
Think
kids?
about it, right? Look at the colors of that, and then what you told me you're doing this week for your curriculum, which is what?
I have my 4th and 5th graders this week, so we'll be making stained glass out of transparencies and tissue paper.
Now, it's really strange because your mother said to me last week about how much she loves stained glass. And it has a story. Stained glass has a story in itself, right? And it's amazing how all of these coincidences occur. I just found out that I rather have a painting in texture than not. It sort of moves me. You're moving me, Ned. What's the matter with you?
Everything, every painting has a different effect on different people.
I'm affected.
I mean, listen,
I'm defective.
we were starting to think that way, but it's true. One
Ned,
person
stop
likes
playing
it.
with the paper. You're driving me insane. Put the paper down.
This,
Lord have
now,
mercy.
this is my poem that I wrote about outdoor artists. I've been trying to read it to you guys.
I know. I read
And
it.
you're because nobody likes poetry.
Nobody.
No, but poets are next to God.
Yes.
It's high stuff. And I have here this poem. It took 20 years to write it. I just wrote the last lines today.
All right, let's
And
hear
Oh,
it.
you finished it today.
20 years?
It's 20 years. Now, it takes me about 20 years to write one poem. I wrote a poem about my daughter when she was 3 years old. I finished it when she was 34 years old. It's just
Well, I'm glad that you're working on your next poem. We'll see you in 20 years. All right, so is it going to take you 20 years to read this thing? Can you read it?
I can, you know what? I think I know it, but the truth is, I remember more about writing it 20 years ago than I do about seeing it.
Is this a clean poem?
All clean, totally clean. A little bit of.
You know what we asked Nancy? Based on what he's bringing every week, we just have to be sure
Definitely not.
it's airwave
I
appropriate.
mean, there are people naked in your stuff. Is why I say it.
Well, but look, I don't want to say I'm not good at reading poems, but I'm not.
All right, so let's read it.
So,
the
Ned,
poem is a
read it
good
before
poem.
I turn 90.
This
Bless you.
is a good poem. When you hear me read this, you're gonna say, "God, he read that horrible," but boy, it's really good.
All right, let me hear it.
Here we go.
Okay.
You'd best be looking elsewhere if it's poetry you seek. My rhymes are sometimes slanted, my pentameter is weak. Because I'm a shopping center Picasso, a street show Monet. I turn out a masterpiece every other day. My lines are tight, my color's bright. My sales pitch you should hear. The first time Van Gogh heard it, he chopped off his other ear. Now, I may never be as famous as Rembrandt or Chagall, and I can't even become Toulouse-Lautrec. I'm way too tall. Okay, then I have to look at the words here. The weather was atrocious. We'd have starved there as a group, except for Andy Warhol, who brought us cans of soup. But the time seemed to go so slow as my neighbor, Mr. Michelangelo, was carving his rocks, because right around the corner in the next booth was a dolly bending clocks. Now, I may never be as famous as Rembrandt or Chagall. I can't become even Toulouse-Lautrec. I'm way too tall. Now,
This must be the new
and
end.
this is the last two lines I wrote just this morning at the breakfast. And I never thought I'd end up in the heart of Del Rey, or that I'd be speaking to you and reading a poem at the Brooklyn Bridge Cafe.
It's funny because Vanilla Ice can make that a rap song.
I like
That's
that.
pretty good.
I-
20 years in the making.
There was a woman here who was singing. She had a wonderful voice, and I said, God, I'd like somebody who know how to read things to do that.
No, you
because
did a good job with delivery.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
I-
I could swear you're more of a poet than you're a
I
painter.
actually like the new name of our show,
The Brooklyn Bridge Cafe.
the Brooklyn Bridge Cafe. I kind
Oh,
of
he
like
changed
that.
the whole. That isn't us.
I
'Cause
kind of like it though. The bridge is going to go right up over there.
another name to add to the mix. Oh, God.
We're going to add another hashtag, the Brooklyn Bridge Cafe, when we're doing our Instagram posts.
I don't think you can use the Brooklyn Bridge. There was a reason we didn't do that. I don't remember it.
I don't know, but we can hashtag it.
Okay.
Why not?
Listen, I wanted to ask you a question. One of the things that Chelsea does is that she puts on art on this
Records.
material,
Vinyl records.
on vinyl. And I was thinking, because you do this on a lot of different
We have
vinyl,
Tinkerbell in there too.
I was thinking that if you made this more three-dimensional, like protruding, like I don't tell you to stick cardboard on it and rip it off, a la Ned, but would 3D art on this become more visual?
I mean, if you added more
I
texture.
haven't even thought about that. That'd be cool though.
Well, the reason that I even bring that up is because, first of all, I've always admired the fact any artist. I mean, I can't even draw stick figures right, but any artist that can do this and have that kind of idea. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at that, and here you are, and I'm saying, if you add texture to the vinyl, I think it would be even more noticeable, for lack of a better word.
Well, let me tell you what. For 20 years, I painted on plexiglass, and I started out painting on flat vinyl, basically like that. And then one day, I just had one sitting in the sun, and it got bent. And I said, "Oh my God! If I could just, figure out how to do that logically and make it, do the good parts and ignore the bad parts, it would look beautiful." And this is all you do with this. You could take. People have done this. In fact, take vinyl like that, paint it, and then bend it.
You melt it.
Then you have to do it in such a way that it doesn't break your paint or whatever you've got on there. That's the trick to it. But you can figure it out. It took me about a year to figure out how to not to break the paint that I already had on there and bend the vinyl. And I did that for about 20 years.
Might be better off bending the plastic first and then painting it.
Yeah, some of the
It's
lesser,
more of a challenge, though.
some of the lesser artists do that.
Yeah.
I had a guy who copied my work, and he bent the plexiglass and then he painted on, and it looked like crap. You can't copy something.
It looked like crap.
It looked
You
like
spend
crap.
a lot of time looking at crap. What the hell's the matter with you?
No, but it's like, you figure out how to do something, and it doesn't come to you in 10 minutes. Sometimes it took me a year to be able to bend the plexiglass and make it look like I wanted to make it look.
But adding
But-
texture would be kind of cool, right? It makes it more
It would
three-dimensional.
make it, you could make it three-dimensional very easily. Just
We need a 3D printer. Maverick, you got a 3D printer somewhere?
No, but I probably get one.
You could probably get one. So I want to get a 3D printer because maybe we make them smaller and you 3D print this on the piece, on any piece. I always thought that texture is the way to go with art. It's just my feeling.
Well, I thought at some point in my career I was painting flat plexiglass, and I thought I want to do three-dimensional. Well, first of all, I started cutting the plexiglass up and then making horses out of it. And that led me to do the big wooden horses and things like that.
How's the bridge coming?
I would say it's 60% finished.
Have you seen it?
It's in the studio, and I'm working on it right now.
Can we put glitter on the bridge for headlights?
For headlights.
For headlights.
A little glitter goes a long way.
I was gonna make it shiny. I already put lights behind it.
Did you?
I put the lights on it now.
Really?
I test them, they work. Now what I'm doing, and I've got
He
all the,
put lights behind them.
you know what, you suggested
Lord have
lights on the
mercy.
front. I said, let's see if I throw him a bone. So,
He's making a three-dimensional Brooklyn Bridge
yeah.
to hang in
Okay.
here.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna make that scenes of Brooklyn in there. We're asking the artists to give us all sorts of different scenes from Brooklyn and New York.
You want to paint something?
Okay.
How about that? She says okay.
She always says okay.
No.
Yeah, she's sitting
To
there.
you,
ain't she?
maybe.
She's sitting
I did I
there.
warn you?
She's sitting there.
She says, I'll come and not be on camera. I said, then don't come. She said, why? Because there's no way Freddie's going to let you not be on camera.
I put everybody on camera.
Is that what I told you? Pretty
And
much.
Pretty much. I put Maverick on camera, but he's always hiding somewhere.
Well, let me ask you, since we're talking art, right? Stained glass and colors. When you came up with your assignment for this week for your kids,
Okay.
was it planned? Was it a mistake?
Or where'd it come from?
So I've done this lesson before.
Okay.
So I did it last year with a different group of students, and I was inspired by Chagall's stained glass work by his America windows that are in the Art Institute in Chicago, which I actually got to see this summer, so that was a cool full circle moment. And the last 2 weeks with my younger kids, I've been making mosaics, and I wanted to change it up but still keep that same idea going for my older students, so I switched up to stained glass. And
And you're doing it how? But you're not using their traditional paint, glue.
no, oh, that would be too much.
Well,
It'd be too much cleanup, and I have 30 minutes for each class, so you have to keep it really simple. So overhead transparencies, last year I used wax paper, and I ended up cutting like 600 to 700 sheets of wax paper that
remember
night.
that.
Remember that?
That's a lot of work.
It was a lot,
Yeah.
and that's what I didn't want to do this time, so I was not going to do the project, and then some kind of a mistake happened on Friday at work, and I discovered the transparencies, and like, well, I already have them cut, that's perfect, so that's what we'll use.
Are you working on anything on your own at home, away from school?
I haven't in like a couple of months. I made a few things, but
What's your favorite thing to work on?
like my favorite type of art to work on? The records are really fun. I painted a few over the summer when I had more time.
You were commissioned to do a
I
couple.
was commissioned to do a couple, and I haven't done them in a while.
Well, I got a crazy notion,
Mm-hmm.
a crazy thing I want. And I've been asking every artist, including that, you know The Last Supper? Are you
Yes.
familiar with that?
Yes.
I want the first breakfast that looks like The Last Supper.
Who's in it though?
Jesus has to be in it
Are
because
you?
we have
But
to
are
keep
you in the
him
middle?
All
In
of us are in
Jesus's
it.
place,
No,
and
no, I'm
Mom's
not.
next
No,
to
no,
you
I'm
and
not
all
in
your-
Jesus' place. Nobody ever takes Jesus' place. Don't get mad at me. Nobody takes a place. But I want a group of different people in there: the apostles, the servers.
Yes, your concept is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
But Jesus stays.
I wasn't sure how much of a satire you were doing.
Maverick, what's the matter, Maverick?
No,
We're gonna use his hair. We'll use Maverick's hair. But Jesus stays constant. And I've been getting a lot of flack about it with some artists because I think I'm thinking of it as a religious. It's not a religious piece. It's about changing it from the Last Supper to the first breakfast because we are a breakfast
We're a
concept,
cafe,
right?
correct.
So I'm thinking about doing something like that. And I'm looking for artists, every artist to contribute a piece to it.
Everyone to do a different person.
There you go. Boy, you know, she's like real fast.
There you go. What do you think?
It's creative.
Because we first talked about it and someone said, well, that's Passover, so you can't really say it's Passover versus the Last Supper. So we decided first breakfast would just take all the controversy out of it.
Take all the religion out of
I
it.
have a question. What's for breakfast?
What are we serving
Have you
at
thought
the
about
table?
that? Because that's crucial.
You mean on the painting or here?
On
And the painting, what's for breakfast?
What's
Oh,
going
I
to be
don't
on the
know.
table?
It doesn't matter. There can be bread and fish and whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Conception.
Fish.
In those days, that's what they have for
Bagels and lox?
That's what I'm wondering. Is how much are you making a parody? Of,
Oh, he didn't think that far in depth on it. It was just a
Yeah, make
concept.
it a quiche.
I
are
can't
you
even
gonna
get out of the
have, like,
box, and you want.
pancakes,
We can do that. We can do it. We can make an
mimosas.
IHOP piece.
Mimosa,
We
pancakes,
have
Is
omelets.
this like a
coffees.
brunch Is this like the first brunch?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, she's just like you. Somebody, we can have the coffee cafe, the cafe coffee in there. We can have IHOP pancakes. I don't know.
Can Cookie be in the painting? A little dog sitting on the lap?
Why not?
Someone taking a picture, putting it on Instagram?
Why not? You want to create it?
Holy smokes.
I'm not Da Vinci though. You know what I mean?
Who
You don't
is?
need to be Da Vinci. You just need to do one painting piece.
Only Da Vinci's Da Vinci, right, Ned?
That's right. And I wouldn't want to
And
be
he's
him
too
anyway.
tall to be Toulouse-Lautrec, which is the funniest line in the whole thing.
You remember that? You're
Yes,
good.
that was really
memorable
funny.
thing. It's a
Now
memorable-
it's really funny, Ned, because in here you have an artist, you have another artist. I think there's another artist over there. Over
Anka?
there, there's one. And I think, are you an artist?
I draw, yes.
Okay, you have another artist. You got a whole room full of. The only one who doesn't draw here is me and Maverick. Oh, never mind. Erase that. Maverick draws.
Never
Can now
does.
you draw? You don't draw. So me and you. It depends on how sick you get.
She can't draw a stick figure. Take your headphone out.
I can. You blew
Huh?
my ear out.
Is this still
I
working?
thought she said it depends on how sick she gets.
She can't draw a stick
She
figure.
can draw. She can draw some sick stuff. Oh, I just want you to know, Amen. I just want you to know, in this studio, my co-host is always using this spray. So I found mine. Right?
What is it?
This is an airbiotic,
They're
and
coming out
today's
1
segment
o'clock.
is brought to you by Airbiotics. But I took this on a plane with me because I was trying to draw the first breakfast, thinking about conceptually how would this work out. So I put this on me. Do you know everybody in the plane grabbed this thing? Do I have to like get it sanitized?
No, it's it's a probiotic. It already does its own.
Yeah, but people,
Everything it's supposed to
people
do.
are putting it on material. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's not supposed to. I thought you said it was for the air.
It's the air. You can put it, like when we put it on the mics, it cleans, it puts the
So
shield
it
on the
cleans
mic.
the air.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that on your paintings, I'm going to put an airbiotic.
As we go around with our airbag.
And then what happens is, well, I mean, we could put Federico on there as well. This is another airbiotic.
Yeah,
Yes.
we could tangle like.
But I want to put to purify the air around the art.
You have some wonderful poetic ideas.
I do. It's this poetry you've
No, the
inspired
artistic
me today.
ideas. No. Let me tell you, here, your artistic ideas are like my musical ability.
That's not good.
Let me tell
'Cause
something.
you can't sing
I'll
for
tell you a
beans.
story about. I once I told my wife, look, I'm going to learn how to play a musical instrument because everybody tells me, oh, I can't draw a line. I'll say, I don't know anything about music, but I'm going to learn to play the harmonica. And we would go to outdoor shows, and I would play these. It was only 5. I was going to say 5, maybe 6. I can't even count how many notes. I was going to play them, and I'd play them and play them and play them. And we would go to 8 or 10. We went to 6 months of shows, and finally, after about I don't know, 16 hours of listening to me go, oh, she said, when the saints come marching in.
She got that from.
Yeah,
She got that from that.
from
Practice
all those-
makes perfect.
I finally got all those notes, but it took me about 6 months to get them. So you could probably learn to draw or have good
Me? I couldn't learn to
No,
draw.
no,
I've been
you could.
trying for 50 years to learn how to
You
draw.
just
You know what?
haven't- You haven't been at it long enough, really.
No, it's just I can't do it. I just can't.
You can draw the breakfast on the first breakfast. You
No, I
draw
can't.
the-
I can sell it, but I can't draw
That's true.
it.
You pretty much
Do you
sell
know
it.
I bought silly putty because you know how you take it and you put it on the cartoons. That's as close as I got to drawing.
It's pretty good. You know, you could take his oiler boiler. Actually, you could do
That's
that.
right.
Probably
You
make
could
peanuts
go
out.
on your silly putty, take the comic strips off, take his oiler boiler, outline it, and then you have your comic strip, and it stays forever.
Outline it.
Yeah.
That will require a steady hand. I saw him using that contraption in there. I don't have that kind of hand. I got 4 hands, and they're all tied together.
And stick to what you do best.
Now, Ned is located here at the beautiful Heart of Delray Art Gallery. They just redid your floor.
Got a new studio, so we're at 1440 North Federal Highway. Come on down, check out what Ned's working on. He's working on the Brooklyn Bridge. He's got the horses. Where are the horses hanging now?
Right now, all the horses are in my gallery.
They're in the stable.
The horses are in Ned's gallery.
I got 3 people who wanted to talk to you about doing the face thing with the animal behind it, so they're going to probably come and see you this week or next.
I'd be delighted to talk to them.
Spirit animals. What would your spirit animal be?
You know.
Well, nobody else does.
An
What is it?
elephant.
A
You
what?
know, Mom.
A
An
what?
elephant.
An elephant.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you want to be an
An
elephant?
elephant. Why?
Why do you want
Do you know that elephants are the most intelligent animals other than humans?
They are. And they have breast assist. Did you know that? They're mammals.
Well, yeah.
But I
But
didn't
their
know
tusk
that.
has to be, their trunk has
The
to
trunk
be
has
up.
to be up for good luck.
Why? When it's down, it's moquillo. Moquillo. You know what moquillo means? Means the trunk is down and they have a cold.
Needs to be up for good luck.
Has to be up for good luck.
And they can drown. Did you know that?
No.
You know, that's how you can tell an artist who's drawing an elephant and an artist who's trying to sell an elephant. If you look at hundreds of pictures of elephants, they all got their trunk up because there's a you know a statement that holds the good luck in there. There's luck in there.
Right.
But if you see, I mean, I've seen 1,000 pictures of elephants, and I'll bet you hadn't been 10 of them that weren't turned up just because of that myth that people have.
And do you know a giraffe
You know, they
has
probably
to
didn't sell
stay
them.
up, otherwise if
Yeah.
it goes down, it
Yeah.
dies.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes, back with our 12 o'clock hour. We're still talking artists. Paula's going to join us on set. Advertising. I don't even know what we're talking about with you, Paula.
I have no idea either.
We're going to figure it
Oh,
out.
I know. You'll come back and find out.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.